Hello my lovely friends, and welcome back to the channel. In today's video we have two very sleepy kitties. It is cold here today, but not as cold as it's gonna get. It's what's today? Today's January the 9th, and it's like -6 or something out there and pretty miserable. So the girls are tucked up nice and tight in their donuts, happily sleeping away, dreaming of July, as a lot of us do. So what we're going to do today is I'm going to give you a tour of my new sewing nook. Is it a display? Should I call it a display arrangement? I'm not sure. But anyways, I did a video last week where I showed you the absolute disarray of my space, and we talked about me doing something different with this cabinet. And so I proceeded to in the end, I took everything out and I replaced it and put new stuff in it. I've got my sewing machine there. I have this little gooseneck lamp here that I've just clipped on. I'm not 100% sure. I mean, it doesn't really give very much light. It certainly would be a little bit helpful, I suppose, when sewing. But I would like to kind of put this, there's not a lot of room in this corner, but I would like a lamp in that corner. I'm not sure why. I have some funny ideas sometimes about lighting. But anyways, that's for a different video. So what I did was, I took all the paper stationery stuff out, and then I ended up really rearranging quite a bit of these shelves as well. Let me just quickly move this out of the way. So I wasn't, whoops, no, that's not enough. I wasn't really going to do as big of an overhaul as I ended up doing, but I have to say I'm very happy with it. I did pitch, or I did give a lot of stuff to the Goodwill, in the sense that different containers and boxes and things that I bought, once again thinking that they would be very handy in storage. Like, I thought, oh, these would be great for putting stuff in, and in the end they weren't. So some things I took away and I've put back in the basement, and I figure if I don't need them or like go looking for them in a year, then I will donate them. Some things I donated because I was like, I haven't used this thing in 5 years in a good way, so it's time to release it. So I moved some of my binders, were up there, and now they're down here. And I just organized my papers. I organized a lot of the smaller stuff, I think, in a much better way. Like, I put a ton of cards and papers and things that I want to add into my junk journals. These were all scattered all over the place, and I didn't even realize how much I had. But it worked out well because everything got to go in here. In here. Like, there's like thank you cards and all that kind of stuff in there. And then this had only postcards in it, but I've moved some things around. There's some graph paper sticky notes, some of the postcards, some other post-it notes, and things like that. I filled this up here with things that would fit. This, if you remember, was in the cabinet, and it had post-it notes in it. And I pretty much left the post-it notes in there because in my brain, I'm equating these drawers with post-it notes. And I will say, oops, hang on. No, okay, it stays there. Oh, no, here we go. That is the only downside to moving this stuff around. Is I'm going to spend the next month and a half being like, where did I put that? Because in my brain, for the last at least a year, 2 years, I'm visualizing all different things in here, right? And so that's really the only downside when you make a big change like that. You have to change your muscle memory. And so I tried to keep some things in their containers so that when I'm you know, looking for stuff. It sort of is in the same place where it was before, but just on a different shelf. And then here I put all my envelopes together. So all of the stuff that came out of here prompted me to do much better organization over here and in here. Up in here, this Cath Kitson bag, this is full of, oh yeah, envelopes. See? I'd forgotten already. But I had envelopes all over the place. So these are the bigger envelopes, and those are going to stay up in there. Those are envelopes I'm going to be using when I'm making my junk journals for Etsy. And then the smaller envelopes, they all go in there. And then so I'm really happy with how everything turned out. I have to say, I had an absolute ball of a time. I really enjoyed it. It felt like a really great way to kick off the new year. And to kick off just fresh space, fresh brain, fresh energy. You know what I mean? I'm going to set up the camera so that I'll open this up and I'll show you what's in everything. And I'll move the sewing machine so you can see what I've got back in there. I think I did a pretty good job of utilizing the space in a way that's, what's the word I'm looking for? Efficient. Right? So let me get the camera set up and I'll be right back. Okay, my friends, I think I've got this set up. I got myself a new microphone in the new year to make videos, and I'm curious what you guys will think about the sound. So if for some reason things sound a little bit weird or strange, let me know in the comment sections, please, because if this microphone isn't going to work, then I need to get a better one or a different one or something. So just so you know, it might sound a little bit different, but let's see how it goes. We've got to start somewhere, and I just have it on my hoodie here. So I wasn't part of the AV club in high school, so I'm kind of winging it here. And I also got out my handy dandy roller, and I've been trying to get all the cat hair off my hoodie. Because you know what's going to happen. There's going to be a close-up shot, and I'm going to be covered in cat hair. But anyways, okay, so here we have the front part of the cabinet, and I have to say, not only do I find this extremely visually pleasing, I really do think this is just a better way of storing the sewing notions that I'm going to be using probably while I'm working on the things for the junk journals and stuff like that. So in this corner here, I decided to take these change purses that I've collected, these little zipper pouches that I've collected over the years. These are all empty. There's nothing in them, but I'm going to find something to put in them. So instead of just having them tucked away in a box, I thought I would just stick those in there, and I don't know, maybe I'll put some lace bits and pieces in there or something. I'm not 100% sure, but they're there for when I figure it out, right? And then this is full of elastics. I don't know if I'll leave it here per se because it's kind of in the way when the sewing machine is here, but I like the way it looked. So for now, it's just decorative, right? So then in here, so let's see. I forget, like I said, my muscle memory on this stuff is at ground zero. I don't remember what I put in here. Oh, sewing needles. Okay, that's good. I have to remember. So I put the sewing needles in here. This, I was actually smart and put the different feet for the sewing machine in here. So I've got like this giant buttonhole extender maker thing. And I do have a walking foot that I have not experimented with on my sewing machine. I to be honest, I forgot I had it. But I am going to play around with this winter and see if I can get it to work on that machine. And then I've just got my little screwdriver in here and an Allen key and stuff. The rolled hem foot's in here, the zipper foot. So all of that's in there. So that's great, because these were in like 4 different places. So now they're all together there. And that fits really great in there. And then here I have a needle holder. So I put a bunch of sewing needles in there. And then I have my, my little mushroom. And then a ton of teeny tiny little safety pins. And that just fits nicely in there. And with the pin cushion there. Eventually, maybe I'll put something in behind there, but for now, it's just sort of one thing in a cubby, because I didn't want to overdo, you know, what I was sticking in here. This is, it's like, guess what's in the container? Bobbins, I think I put in here. Yes, bobbins. So perfect. So that goes in there, and then we'll move this back over here for a second. Pins? Ah, more safety pins. All right, so I put safety pins in there, and then in here, I have no idea. Oh, thread! Some neutral colored threads. Just black, and there's a white in there, a gray, and a beige. Okay, excellent. And then in behind there, oh, there's a couple of jars, just with some random buttons. That fits nicely there. And then here, I think that one's empty. I have to say, this little arrangement really makes me happy, because then I got to get out all my vintage tins, and they weren't just, now they're not just decorative, they're actually practical as well. Oh yeah, clothespins. So that's handy. And let me see, what did I put in here? Oh, pins, other straight pins. For a while there, I was on a kick of buying these clear jars at the Goodwill with different kinds of lids, like this Parmesan thing. I thought it looked kind of cute for putting notions and stuff like that in them. And then this, oh yeah, this one's empty for now. So then in this little white case down here, years ago, my dad bought me these amazing seam rippers for Christmas. And they are probably the sharpest seam rippers that I've ever had. Oops, sorry. I'm in a different angle here. These are great. And I don't know where he got them, to be honest, but they come with the extra blades. And I have yet to replace them. Like, they're razor sharp. It's crazy. ChestnutTools.com if you're interested in finding some seriously sharp seam rippers, and not just like the blue ones that you get at the sewing store. Like, these ones are okay, but these are like the Cadillac of seam rippers. Okay, so those I'm going to keep underneath there. Then here, I wanted an open box of elastics, because I like this, because this is just decorative and pretty. But I noticed not that long ago that 9 out of 10 times when I'm going to reach for an elastic, I already have the thing in my hand that I want to put the elastic around, and having to take the lid off of the jar is quite awkward. And I know these are first world problems, but I really did enjoy. It was not enjoy. What's the word I'm looking for? It was made much more sense for me to have the elastics in a container that I don't have to take the lid off of, right? It's the small things in life, my friends. It is the small things in life. Okay, and then in here, this little box, I just have the things that I showed you in the other video for hemming the t-shirts. So my twin needle, which obviously I have not attempted to use yet, some new ballpoint needles, and the temporary basting tape. So I just put those all together there. And then in this little box here, is this empty? This is just a dollar store box. Oh, just some little, oops, tiny little crochet flowers I had kicking around. So I just put them in there for now. Okay, so let me adjust the camera, and I think we're going to have to, yeah, I'm going to have to lift this up a bit. So give me 1 second, and then we'll look in the cabinet. Okay, so I went back and looked and listened to the video that I just did showing you what was in the bottom part. And I didn't like the sound. I didn't think it sounded that great. Again, you'll have to let me know in the comments, but I took the microphone off because I think this is much better, and I am standing right by the iPad, so I don't think you're going to have any problem hearing me. Okay, so let's get on with the tour. So I just put some of the cones here of colors that I will be using the most. I have a ton of these cones, but I didn't want to fill up the whole shelf because that really didn't make much sense to me. So I just picked the colors that I'm going to be using the most, because really those are the ones that you want to have to be the handiest, right? So then we've got, I love these little jam jars. There's just, it goes back to that thing about things being tiny and why we love miniatures and everything that is, it's so cute, right? So I love using and keeping these little jars. So I just got some buttons in there. And then I got one of my tomato pin cushions here, just sitting in a little dish because that way it isn't rolling and flailing all over the place. And then in this little tiny jam jar, I have just some little grommets. I bought these, but I don't even know if I've used these because they're so tiny. I don't think they fit in my crocodile. I think they're too small. But anyways, they look cute. And that's half the battle, right? And then again, here's another one of these Parmesan cheese jars that I got at the Goodwill. And I just got it chock full of shank buttons. And yeah. Holds a lot of small buttons for something that's pretty tiny, so I like that. And then in here we've got this vintage, I think it's Avon dusting powder. No, can you see that? Wait, April Showers dusting powder, powder de bon. Oh, Montreal. Ah, oui, oui, c'est bon. It makes a lot of sense. Oh, New York and Montreal. Well, that still makes sense that it's en français. This came from the Goodwill, of course, right? So what did I put in here? Oh, I've got just some lace appliques, and I had bought a jar of laces. I must have been at the Goodwill. I mean, where else do I shop, right? So there was some of these little bits of laces that came with these, and they were just wrapped up. So I just put everything in here, and eventually if I don't coffee dye these, then I'll just be including these in junk journals or ephemera packs. But oops, sorry, I decided to put them there so that I remember that I have them, because as you know, out of sight, out of mind. And then in this jewelry box, I can't remember. I only did this like 2 days ago. How bad is that I don't remember? Oh yeah. All my little snaps and hook and eyes. Oh yeah. Some days, you guys, my brain is like Swiss cheese. So these are handy. These are good. They're kind of a pain in the butt to sew on, I gotta say. They're quite fiddly. But you know what? When you need a good snap, you need a good snap. Okay, so that's all that there. And that fits perfectly in there. I'll put that back there with my Parmesan cheese jar. And I love Parmesan cheese, so it's a win-win if I ever need one. And then in here, what do we got here? Nope. Ooh, okay, so This is just kind of bits and bobs of stuff that I didn't know what to do with. So bobbins, I believe that's from another sewing machine. I got some chalk in here and for marking stuff, and then I don't know, just other hardware from other sewing machines that I just decided to throw them all in there together like that. This is thread. Let me just see here. Yep, all kinds of different threads. So that's perfect in there. And then in here, this is also threads. So I put the bigger spools all in here. So this, I'm like, whew, finally got this all together. Who knows some days what I think about. You know, some days I come up with these organizational things and I think, best idea I ever had. And then a year later, I'm like, that was the worst idea that I ever had. You know what I mean? Okay, now again, I have another tomato pin cushion that I've put in this crystal, on this crystal container, just to keep it from flailing around and rolling on its own. Now, to be honest with you, I don't even know, I don't think I put much in these these are all, that's just empty. So these are all empty. So there's great potential for what's going to go in there. Probably at some point I'll put some trim and some bits and pieces of lace and that kind of thing. That the kind of just the little embellishments that I would like to add onto the junk journals. This is a vintage pin box that was my Baba's, and I just threw some loosey-goosey white buttons in there. This is empty. Oh no, there's something in here. These might be iron-on stars. Let's see. Yes. They say stick-on, but they lie. You can iron them on, but they don't always stay stuck on. I usually end up sewing through the middle. I used to make, God, how many of these do I have? I have a ton of them. I used to make old-fashioned looking sailor dresses. If I have a picture of one, I will include it here. I wonder if I have a picture of it. I used to love making them. They took forever. And I would use the stars on the collar. They're super cute, I have to say. That's empty. Ooh, no, this has got something, ooh, quite heavy in it. Oh, these might be business, are these business cards? Oh yeah, I put my business cards in here. Okay. This again is muscle memory, because this was on another shelf, but these have always had business cards in them. So I didn't want to take the business cards out until I got more used to this setup. Now let's see what's in here. Nothing. Empty. Empty. And just some red buttons in a old, probably like a cold cream jar, some sort of makeup jar. So that's there, and then in that corner there is just different kinds of metallic and sparkly threads that I hardly ever use, but I won't get rid of, because the moment I get rid of them, I'll be like, where is my shiny silver thread? You know, like, that's just the way. And then this is another one, a little jam jar full of red bows. And then here, these are just needles in a salt shaker. So, I am feeling extraordinarily organized here. And then I thought this little duck would be cute to hold, again, just more needles that I didn't put in the needle holders. These ones are a little bit bigger, so I thought I would just keep those separated from the thin, tiny ones that I showed you earlier. Okay, so then at the very top, I've got my big spool of thread. Here's yet another tiny little jar of bows. And then this was a cup from when I went to Buckingham Palace, clearly. Stating the obvious. I quite enjoyed the garden cafe that day. Anyways, I kept the cup and I brought it home, and now it's filled with yarn. More mini close pegs in the back. Then these vintage salt and pepper shakers, these were my grandmother's, and these sat in her kitchen for as long as I can remember. So when she passed and they were getting, you know, packing up all her stuff, for some strange reasons, these had a lot of sentimental value to me. I don't know why. Out of all the things in the house, this was one of the first things, these were one of the first things that I wanted, which is strange, eh? That these would be the things. I mean, here, you can't even see the windmill on the salt. It's just one of those weird things that you can't explain. Oh, and I put paper clips in here. So again, there's potential for me to do something else with these, whether maybe it's put buttons in here. That might be a better use. Put some buttons in both of these. And then what's behind here, and these IKEA things. Oh, leftover baker's twine. Years and years ago, I made soap, and I sold soap in different places, and I saved all kinds of cutoffs from the wrappings when I was wrapping up the packaging of the soap. So I'm going to use this. I saved these, and I'm glad I did, because now I can use them in or on tags, paper tags, in the journals. And then, oops, this is different colored, thinner twine that I believe just came from the dollar store. So that'll be handy for tags as well. So, my friends, that is what is inside the cabinet. I hope that you enjoyed that little tour, and it will inspire you in some way to do maybe some reorganizing of a cabinet of your own, or to move stuff around and to enjoy that very, even still, omnipresent sense of newness and freshness of the new year. Let me pull this back a bit here. And, oops, yeah, we're all right. I got a stand here that, the iPad's on a stand that I'm not all that familiar with. So yeah, I like it. It's fun. And hopefully, right, you know, what's so ironic is that I'm standing here saying to you, you know, some of the best decisions that I thought I made turned out to be the worst as far as organizing goes. And here I am saying, this is one of the best organizing schemes I've ever come up with. So hopefully in a year, I feel the same way. But anyways, that's it for me today. Oh, no, there's one other thing I want to show you. So hang on just 1 second. I couldn't resist giving you a glimpse of the empty desk. It took me a while to get everything away and organized, and I still need to give it a bit of a wipe down and a clean. But I am very excited that the desk is operational again and functional. And I didn't do a lot with these drawers yet. And here I just put some of the linens that I used during different photo shoots. But the one thing that I did in this drawer that's going to turn out to be, I think, quite useful is I put all of my playing card collection down in here. All the playing cards that I bought over the last few years on, or at the Goodwill. It's surprisingly how heavy these cards can be. And over the years, I've put them in boxes, and sometimes the bottoms fall out of the box. It's surprising, the weight of these cards. So when I was trying to figure out what to do with everything, I was like, you know what? Let's put them in this drawer, because the drawer is super sturdy, the bottom's not going to fall out, and this way I have them all together in one section. Oops. As opposed to, oh, hello there. Did somebody open up a drawer? Sophie's like, wait, you can't open up a drawer without me getting in it. Yeah, I had them spread out in a bunch of different places to try and I don't know what I was thinking. But anyways, I love this. I think this is going to be great. And they're all here together. So depending on the theme or whatever that I'm looking for, it's all right there. Hey, Soph. Yeah, it's all right there. So thanks everybody for coming by and spending some time with me, hanging out, and watching me give you a little bit of a tour of my newly renovated sewing nook corner thingamajigger. You guys know how much I really appreciate you coming by and spending some time with me. Thank you so much for your support, your kind words, and you know what I always say, speak kindly to yourselves, enjoy the journal process, and until the next video, take care everybody, mwah, and I'll see you soon. Bye! Say bye, Luce. Nope. Okay, thanks again everybody. Bye.